You know, I'm a comedian. I get that. Okay.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah. But you fucking. I mean, they know they know what they about to get with you. Yeah. I just got to surprise them with all this.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Right. You be like,
it is what it is. Okay, I'm half black. You just guess what half it is. But you had situations like that, like the women just want to be,
Yeah, women like to fuck. They love to fuck, and if you make it comfortable, right, and there's no guilt trip. Or maybe they like a guilt trip. Maybe they want to feel a little guilty about it. Yeah,
but you a star. They like, I fuck Mr.Marcus.
Yeah.
No, like, who else ain't? Long list, man. We've been in the movies for a while. But no, I can see that. I was talking about the racism. I've noticed this. I think this, when it comes to like an STD or something, it's like when white folks get it, it's swept underneath the rug. But when black people, they heighten it up. Like make it,
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. And I think that's, there's just, I used to get a lot of hate. Niggas didn't like the fact that I was fucking bitches and they weren't. Or bitches were choosing me over, over them. Directors, I wasn't doing it the way the director was trying to hire me to do it. I did it my way. Mm-hmm. So, I rubbed people the wrong way. And I think when you do that shit in this business, they just love to like try to undermine you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They try to scapegoat. You know what I mean? Like, they're not you.
Right.
They don't even know what it's like to be you. They don't even know all the bullshit you're going through, and they just try to, they want to add to it, and it's unfortunate because it happened a few times in our industry where cats were just singled out.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I remember a guy was Darren James, mm-hmm. and I read his story, and I felt, he's a good dude, and things happen, you know what I'm saying? And I think he had a successful career after that too. I think he started directing movies. I'm not 100% sure.
No, he's an advocate, he's an advocate for HIV testing.
Right, sure.
He's a counselor for cats who, he goes down, he does that HIV testing.
That's beautiful, man.
In high risk communities and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? He gets in there and he just tries to.
With you, do people feel like, you ever have people feel like, you nasty and fuck you and I don't be around, like, you know what I'm saying? Because of the business you in?
Right. There'll be motherfuckers who be like, wash your hands or.
around you, right.
Or like, I mean, usually that's more about them than me.
Okay.
Because I'm a clean motherfucker.
Right, sure.
But that's just them. They got whatever they got in their head, that's on them. But.
And it's funny to interrupt you. It's funny you say that because, when I mess around with a couple of them, they're like, well, nigga, these girls taking tests all the time. Bitch, you be in the club ain't testing, nigga, shit. I mean, they never had a AIDS test.
Nah, we get, we test.
So it's a little safer for that vagina. You know what I'm saying?
When I started, they were just doing HIV testing. Mm-hmm. And that was every 3 months. But this is in the early 90s.
Right,
and cats weren't really up on HIV like the way that, the 80s came around, everybody panicked and was scared, and the industry just really had to like step up. Mm-hmm. Liability reasons, and just the fact that, we're kind of all consenting to do this.
Right, sure.
You know what I mean? STD testing came in around 2000, 2002, 2003, mm-hmm. And that became, we call it a full panel.
Full panel,
and then we do, and we incorporated, everything associated with any kind of sexual activity. And we require that test every 2 weeks now. And those tests ain't cheap. They're about $180.
Yeah. They have a place in Santa Monica I used to go to. Mm-hmm. I remember reading something about that. Every 2 weeks. Okay, so every 2 weeks.
Because you get the window for HIV detection is about 2 weeks, about 7 to 10 days.
Oh, okay, that's what it is?
So 2 weeks just to be on the safe side.
We'll delve a little bit into it, but after your situation you had, how did you pivot? How did you feel about the way people came at you? Did you see a lot of people change around you? Did you have your mentality like, I got to get out, I got to do something else, what's I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Because it was a heavy situation.
Yeah, it was tough because I think at that time social media was like really, it wasn't as, as much moderated as it is now. There's much more people that balance out the conversation in the comments. Usually everybody just kind of goes in and cracks jokes.
Sure.
And then, during that time, but now there's more people that come in and kind of set the record straight. You know what I mean? And nice. So, at that time it was trying to set the record straight.
Sure.
And it just couldn't.
Sure.
And all the the avenues and the ways that I was used to talking with people publicly and privately kind of like got just flipped for some reason. And that was tough because, you know, up until that point, everybody loves you, everybody's your homie,
sure, that's
everybody,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like, you know, they want to try to blacklist you and blackball you and shit. But I think at that same time, if I was prepared, I just would have pivoted and just done Mr. Marcus production, Mr. Marcus material, Mr. Marcus content, Mr. Marcus, you know, films.
Right.
And I wasn't. I was like, emotionally, I was kind of fucked because I was I like this industry.
Right.
I like being called to show up and do that shit.
Sure.
And I just feel like I was just being kind of, you know, pushed out, which was like, it's like, nah, I love this business.
Right,
You know what I mean?
sure,
Like,
sure.
I enjoy it. I didn't need to actually be performing because I thought I had enough creative ideas, you know, to be a good producer, but good director.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I could, but it also kind of like showed me that the people in our industry, they really just try to be disposable. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You know,
Wow.
you're hot.
For a
You
second,
know,
right. And then they can get
in
rid of you.
Hollywood kind of mirrors that shit. The music industry can mirror
Oh,
that
no,
shit.
no, I hear you now.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
You're
So
right.
you really got to stay true to who you are, because these motherfuckers will try to define you and, you know, and tell you how you should be and how you can act and what you're allowed to do.
Right.
And I think at that moment you're part of the matrix.
Right.
If you follow through.
Sure,
and
sure.
then, you know, you just got to purge yourself of that shit. And I think that's what I did. I just kind of like, okay, cool. I see it differently now. And I'm not gonna, and I know, and you know, instead of cats telling you who they think you are, you tell them who you know you are.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I just, and you know, and I think that's, you know, for better or worse, who knows? But
Right.
I just feel like, yeah, nah, fuck that. I mean, we just people, you know what I
Right.
mean? We all sitting on the 405 together.
Right.
You know what I mean? We ain't sitting on the plane together. I mean, you
Right.
know, some cats are cool, some cats ain't. I learned, you know, some cats will look out for you and take care of you. Other cats
Right.
will walk on past you.
Right.
Some
Wow.
cats, you know what I mean?
Right. But it had to be a mental fuckery from being, you know, Mr. Marcus, this dude, and looking at it a little negatively then.
Mm-hmm.
How did you pivot to finally raise up, you know, to where you are now? Like, what did you do to get it?
Just really, I was like, I you know, you gotta be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm cool with what I see. You know, I understand that being in porn is, you know, morally conflicting for some. And,
Sure.
You know what I mean? You know, it can be totally against their religion, whatever, for whatever reason.
Sure.
I've heard it all. I've gotten a lot of shit because I was in the porn industry. You know, a lot of racism. I used to get all kind of racist ass shit in the beginning.
Really?
Because you got to realize I got my website in 1997.
Okay.
I had a message board. I was doing emails. So I was already engaging fans, and this is 1997,
Smart.
98. And some of these cats would, just because they had opportunity to say shit to me, they would just say some real fucked up
I
shit.
can see, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it here in some comments. sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but what I realized over time, and as you got older, and as social media is kind of, you know, the playing field is, you know, kind of leveling out, and you understand what it's really about, because it was like us adjusting to this fact that now everyone has an opinion, and you don't have no control over what they say or what they think about you, you know. And so it has to really, you need to know who the fuck you are.
Right.
Or else these motherfuckers will try to tell you who they think you
I
are.
fight with that all the time. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would, you
It's
know.
the white side. I mean, I hear it all the time. You ain't no real brother. You ain't no black nigga.
Right.
Stuff I've did for blacks people. You know what I'm saying?
Just people.
Marched and all that. But
Right.
no, for black people.
Right.
I marched and did all kind of stuff. And then you gonna tell me who I am? Get out of here with that bullshit. You don't know me. But I'm saying, so okay, you know who you are. Did people like leave you alone, and then you started saying, I gotta come back my own. Like getting back on the film was probably a little difficult. You know, get back in front of the camera.
Right.
So did you just did people leave you and you said, I gotta start my own business, I gotta start my own stuff from damn near, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, the one thing too is like, I don't let up off the gas. You know, Lexington Steele is a good friend of mine. He was like, you know, you ease up all the gas, but don't hit the brakes. You know what I mean? And so it was just really, social media was easy for me to stay relevant and stay involved, stay engaged, because it was just about being creative, and then it was about uplifting people's spirit. I'd always think when something bad would happen in the news, I would think, how can you put out good energy to make people feel better about shit?
Okay.
Find funny shit. find serious shit.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And social media allows you to do that. As far as when it comes to sex, you know, I don't put out as many sexual images as I used to. I have a lot of sexual content, and with OnlyFans, you're able to like probably put it out there in a more controlled way.
Okay.
And then I have a shitload of images out there already. You know, I got almost 2,000 movies.
Oh wow.
And you know, so it's a shitload of movies already in the can. It's like, what do I need? And I see a lot of dudes that I know been shooting porn. I just think, you know, you still doing that? And I get it. It's easy. You just show up and fuck. But I think at some point there's a price to pay.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. If you like that clip, hit the subscribe button or the notification bell. In fact, why don't you hit both of them?